Hello everybody, welcome to my visual presentation. My name is Brianna, and today I will be talking about artist Kim Noble and how she used art as a way to deal with the daily struggles of having dissociative identity disorder, or also known as DID. So this is Kim Noble. She is an artist from London. She was born in 1960 and as a young child suffered sexual abuse from her own family. The trauma from this abuse is what ultimately caused her to develop DID. DID often develops from past traumas that are severe enough to result in the brain requiring multiple personalities to handle the lasting emotional and mental damage. Studies have found that people who have DID experience some form of extreme abuse at a very young age. A lot of people confuse dissociative identity disorder with schizophrenia. Even Noble's doctors misdiagnosed her with it. Schizophrenia is another very severe mental illness. It causes individuals to have hallucinations and delusions, which explains the abnormal behavior. The misunderstanding with schizophrenia is that the individuals also have multiple personalities, but that is not true. With DID, individuals create these personalities who are real in a sense that you can speak with them, but they're not physically real, like they don't have their own body. Some common treatment options for DID individuals include medication, therapy, and support groups. Growing up, Noble felt like she had no control over her body. She would lose track of time and often had no memory of how she got from one place to another. At the age of 14, the hospital was her second home. She was misdiagnosed with many things, including schizophrenia, psychosis, anorexia, and even depression. It wasn't until 1995 she was finally diagnosed with DID. Noble would receive daily help from a support worker who was actually training to become an art therapist. A support worker is just someone who provides help to vulnerable individuals. Her support worker came by her house and one day told her that why not give art a try? Noble was apprehensive at first because she really didn't know anything about art. She wasn't interested in art and didn't have any supplies. The two searched the house to see what they could find, and they found pieces of wallpaper, and Noble's daughter actually had a couple paints lying around. So over the course that she was participating in art therapy, that is when the other personalities decided to join in as well. The early developments of art therapy began around the 19th and 20th centuries. People with mental illnesses were labeled as insane or possessed, and the reason behind this is because there really wasn't an understanding of what mental illnesses were. So medical professionals and researchers were only drawing from their own guesses and really didn't have concrete answers as to what is going on. So in order to be able to understand their patients, they did an in-depth study through art. This would allow researchers to analyze the patient's art and be able to comprehend what they're thinking and feeling, and probably make connections and build theories. Over the time, practices of art therapy has changed because now there's a better understanding of what it is, and now art therapy provides an escape from their illness and promote a positive lifestyle. Noble did not consider herself an artist. She had never picked up a paintbrush until that time her support worker recommended she try it. But little did she know that this would be the pathway to her art career, and this would make her more of a positive and confident version of herself. So one of the artists I picked to write about in the essay is Rhea. She depicts child abuse in her paintings. As you can see, in My Hands Are Tied. In this image, we see a picture of this girl being chained and shackled to the wall, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's the same figure with the backwards writing to the left of her that says, "Free me and help me." There's also this faint figure on the lower right corner, almost like it's just watching her and not doing anything about it. Rhea uses neon colors in her paintings because they are easily noticeable. The bright colors attract attention. So, and also you can see kind of like the lines of the brushstrokes on the walls. So that kind of indicates that Rhea was painting in like a vertical motion. As mentioned before, Noble was sexually abused at a young age, but she does not have memory of it. The reason for this is because Rhea is the one who experienced the abuse from the family. So she's channeling that through her art. Art therapy is a beneficial tool for someone who has been a victim of abuse because they are no longer living in silence and are no longer being told what to do. With this, they are now more confident and empowered and want the world to know what they went through and to show them that this is real. The words represent her desperation and agony. She wants somebody to know that she needs help. Rhea explains that child abuse often goes unnoticed and people don't believe it. Through these paintings, she'll get the viewer's attention to show that child abuse is real. And next I picked Dawn because she's very hopeful and optimistic. And that's kind of what you need when dealing with a mental illness. You go into this negative state of mind of my life is over, or you just feel alone. You just feel like everybody sees you different. And you just go into a very negative state. And Dawn likes to promote positivity in her paintings. On the right is a close-up of what these individual circles say. And one of the circles that caught my attention was this one, and it says, "Be easy on your journey, good is with you. Here is your strength to help you on your journey. Feel love on your journey, our love is with you." And then this one, it says, "We send love, our love within you through the Gabe. Have faith upon your journey, bright with truth." So, and then in the bigger picture, we see this figure just laying down. And then I kind of see this as like an echo wave. So it's like spreading the messages of love and hope. The blue in the painting to me represent, the sadness and the gloominess of having a mental illness. And then the white and the purple mix represent the positivity. Dawn is trying to show Noble and these personalities that they have love and support in the journey to healing. And this is evident in the writings with, surrounded by white. Dawn actually used a sponge in her painting. You can kind of see this in like the cloud-like effect. So the next artists I'll be talking about are the other ones I didn't include in my essay, but they still play a role in my visual. Abby typically depicts loneliness and emptiness, which is why we can see like just lone figures. So we just see the cherry and the stem and the seed, and then this girl just in the corner. Anon typically just uses white and black in her paintings. She's called Anon because nobody knows her name. She's very secretive. She doesn't like people to know who she is or ask her name, so she paints in the early hours of the morning. Bonnie was actually the main personality who took care of their daughter Amy, but after a long battle with social services and court about whether Amy should be living with them, it kind of hit her hard and she didn't show up as much. But Bonnie still lives with them and she's doing fine. Bonnie likes to paint like stick-like people like this and then add colors. Judy is a 15-year-old bulimic teenager, so she's very self-conscious of herself. You can see that in the painting on the left. It's even titled Awkward, so you can see she's just uncomfortable. And then on the painting on the right, you can see just the sadness on the child's face. Karen, so Noble thinks Karen is boring, which is her own opinion, but we can see that Karen you can see like the splatter effect, and she uses a toothbrush for that. Karen's paintings pretty much look all like this, just in different colors. Ken is a young gay guy, and he likes to to add texture and mix colors. So you can kind of see the texture of the paints and then all the colors mixed. He was actually the last one to come out and say, he was the last one to come out and actually start painting. Key likes to use Kabbalah and Hebrew symbols. What's mysterious about Key is that Noble herself doesn't even know anything about these symbols, and she doesn't even know how Key even obtained this knowledge, so kind of mysterious. Mimi doesn't have a lot of artworks out because they take a long time. Noble said it even took her 3 years. So this was the only one of Mimi. Missy MJ likes to only use red, black, and white in her paintings. She refuses to use any color. Patricia is kind of like Karen. She's simple, but still yet kind of cool artworks. Noble doesn't like her either. Salome doesn't have any artworks published because she doesn't like anybody knowing her business. She's very serious, so she's like, nobody's gonna know my business. And last but not least, Susie. Susie only paints people. She did start off with mother and baby, but that stopped after she basically just got bored with it and then just started painting random people. So you can see a clever teacher on the right. So for my visual project, I wanted to paint Noble and kind of do the names in the speech bubble right here. So I just outlined it with pencil, and then I traced it with paint. I only had the colors white, black, red, yellow, blue, and green. So I just painted it in. And then for the orange, I mixed in red and yellow. And then for the skin color from that orange, I just diluted it with white. And then for the speech bubble, I just did blue and then diluted it with white. And this is where I kind of messed up because on the left, I was almost done, but I had written a name twice and I was like, how am I going to cover this up? You know, I can't just use white out. So I just painted it over with another mixture of the baby blue, but it was much darker. And I was just like, you know what, I'll just start over. So I painted over every name and then just did the names all over again. So you can kind of see in the names, I tried to make fonts that fit their personality. So in Abby, she's kind of shy. So I did it all lowercase. Judy just uses dull color. So I did like a dull green, a non-black and white with like the flick right there because she uses a palette knife. And then, and then Rhea, neon colors. I actually used nail polish for that, but it just looks like red. Dawn, poetic elements in her art, the symbols in Key, the seriousness in Salome, the Bonnie and Ken, colorful. And yeah, it was really fun creating this artwork, and I hope it looks okay. So we can see that art played a huge role in Noble's life. We can see that it was a very beneficial tool for her in helping her deal with the pain of having this illness. You know, it's a huge challenge to have a mental illness. You know, it is unclear where she would be today if her support worker didn't recommend she turn to art. Art saved her from living a life of unhappiness and confusion. So with the use of art therapy, Noble was able to communicate with her other personalities, you know, and give them empowerment and confidence that they needed to tell their stories like Rhea. And art provided Noble and all of her other personalities the chance to heal and set them on the journey to learn to love and accept themselves, you know. And this project was very interesting to research, and I wish I could research into it more. You know, it was really difficult to find sources about Kim, but I really enjoyed this research project, and I hope you guys enjoyed my visual presentation. I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you, and have a good day.